nghe được con nói không ạ? Alo, hình như cô Trúc Thanh chưa nghe được hay sao ấy. Cô Trúc Thanh có phải có câu hỏi không ạ? Cô Trúc Thanh ơi, cô có nghe được không ạ?
Dạ, alo chị ơi, có thể là cô chưa chọn cái chế độ thông dịch đấy, nên có thể là cô sẽ không nghe được tiếng đó chị ạ.
Không, chị nói ở trên Zoom chính mà.
Dạ.
Dạ, không biết là cả nhà mình hôm nay có ai muốn đặt câu hỏi không ạ? Nếu chưa có ai đặt câu hỏi thì con có thể đưa ra cái chủ đề mà bạn trong nhóm đã đưa ra.
Dạ. Chị đang hỏi gì?
Con chỉ muốn hỏi là có phải là cô định đặt câu hỏi không thôi ạ?
Chị đang hỏi gì vậy chị?
Cô không nghe được ạ?
Sao không nghe gì hết ta?
Chắc hiện giờ cô đang chưa bật loa. Ok, bây giờ chúng ta sẽ xem có Achan ở đây chưa để chào Achan. Achan, are you there?
Yes, สวัสดีค่ะ everyone.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับอาจารย์สวัสดีครับ
Afternoon, everyone. Chào mọi người.
Dạ, không biết là cả nhà có ai đăng ký đặt câu hỏi không ạ? Nếu mà chưa có ai đặt câu hỏi thì con sẽ đưa ra một chủ đề mà có một đạo hữu trong nhóm có nhắc tới mấy ngày trước, đó là bạn có chia sẻ là trước đây bạn đã do cái lòng kính trọng Tam Bảo nên là bạn có một cái phát nguyện để ủng hộ hộ độ cho một vị sư. Nhưng mà sau một thời gian thì bạn thấy là có vẻ như vị sư đó có một số những cái điểm nó không giống như là hoàn toàn như là một đời sống phạm hạnh, thì bạn cũng băn khoăn là bởi vì bạn đã có cái phát nguyện như vậy thì không hiểu là cái việc mà từ bỏ phát nguyện thì có là một cái điều phù hợp hay không. Thì con sẽ đưa ra chủ đề này ở đây để được nghe những lời giải thích phân tích của Achan và của Seva. So one of our friends some days ago brought up a topic that I would like to share with you so that we can hear comments from you. So the friend said that before she used to support a monk out of respect for the Sangha. And she did make a resolution that she would support the monk for the whole life. But later on, somehow she felt that the monk didn't live the holy life fully. So now she's wondering whether is it proper to back down from her resolution. So I'd like to hear comment from you. Thank you.
What's her resolution again?
The resolution is to support a monk for his whole life.
Okay, support a monk. But when that person does not follow the rule, is he still a monk?
Then no.
So she has resolution to support the monk, not anyone. Is that right?
Yes, and she said that when she made that resolution, she was thinking the Sangha, to support the Sangha.
So just support the Sangha, not personal person. So anyone who follow this rule of Sangha is Sangha. Actually, Sangha means the group of monks, not just one person. When it's not just one person, it's not Sangha, it's just Bhikkhu, individual Bhikkhu, not monk, not Sangha. So she has her resolution to support monk only, not the one who break the rules, do not have the way monks behave at all. This is the way to keep the monk or the Sangha on and on with understanding who's the Sangha or the monk and who's not. So that person, that monk which does not follow the rule can know what is right and what is wrong when the people do not support anymore. It's not wrong at all. Otherwise, what can help him to repent what he has done and what is not the life of monk, but still be a monk? In truth, he is not a monk when he does not follow the rules of monk. The monk's rules are very, very subtle too, depending on the understanding. What is monk? How to be monk? Different life away from lay life. Is that right?
Yes, I think that's true. And I think when you talked about whether it is a true monk or not, it totally makes sense. And I think the friend also was thinking about the aspect of resolution, like if one has made a resolution and later on one doesn't fulfill it,
Because
it's something.
one does not support the person or the one who is not monk, not follow the rules of monk, not the real monk. Is that true? Her resolution?
Yes,
So when that person doesn't follow the rule of monk, is he still a monk? There are so many details about how to be monk as the one who real monk, follow the rule by such and such way, by way of Vinaya, to pardon and to let monk allow him again to be in the monk company as before he made mistake.
yes. I think for many people, as long as the monk is still wearing the robe and he's part of the Sangha officially, many people cannot think of that monk as not really a monk anymore.
And
I
what
think
about officially? It has to be by monk's rule, not the law or anyone's rule. Only the Vinaya can be judged whether that person is monk or not monk at all, or can be after he has done the pardon of whatever by the monk's rule to be in the monk company again. That's why there are many rules for monk who did something wrong, not according to the rule, to know what to do in truth in order to be back to the monk's company. That's why lay people should know the monk's rule as well, because otherwise, how can one know whether that person is still monk or not monk at all, or it still be monk as soon as he may pardon or follow the rules? How to be pardoned, to be monk in the monk company again?
So do you mean that if a monk violate the Vinaya and
Yes.
doesn't have a proper confession, then that monk is considered no longer a monk?
If that monk does not, that's what, as you said, he cannot be the monk, because any monk makes, who did wrong to the rule has the way to be pardoned or being able again to be monk after the way the Vinaya set up for that kind of mistake, different kinds of mistake. I think that Kun John and Kun
Sarah.
and anyone who learn about Vinaya knows that. So please help me, because I think
Thank
that
you, Ajahn.
everyone should know.
I was going to add actually something that doesn't depend on knowledge of Vinaya, because I think if I was in the position of this lady, I would see it this way, that I no longer have confidence in the monk in question. So either I continue to support him, but with a lot of dosa involved, and worry because I think I am supporting someone who is disregarding the Dhamma, who is so bringing about the distraction of the Dhamma, or I stop supporting, which may be a breach or a departure from the initial resolution, but so be it. There's no terrible consequence of that, as I see it. The resolution was made either just to oneself or possibly made to the monk, I don't know. But in either case, it's obviously the basis for the making of the resolution no longer exists as far as the person understands the situation. And I think it's impossible to go on supporting the monk where there is no longer the confidence that the monk is living the monk's life as it should be lived. And I presume she has taken steps to verify that that's the case. So I don't see any big problem at all. I don't think she should be worried about the consequences of breaking a resolution, because the resolution, although it was made with good intention in the first place, it's just another moment of thinking, really. There's no specific consequence there. It may or may not have been Wussala at the time. That's my comment. Thanks. Sarah may want to say something more.
Yes, I was going to say something similar, but I think as one's understanding develops, so one reevaluates the resolutions one has made. For example, a man may become a bhikkhu thinking that it's the only way or the best way to study the Dhamma. And later he may realize it's very difficult to keep perfect Vinaya, and it's not necessary to be a monk to study the Dhamma, so he may disrobe. It's not any breach. It's better in that case to disrobe and truthfully study the Dhamma than lead a kind of fake life, unhappily living life as a bhikkhu. And in this case, as a lay person, as understanding develops, one may see that just supporting a monk or someone who calls himself a monk, a bhikkhu, who doesn't properly live the monk's life, is not actually helpful for that monk and not helpful for one's own path, one's own development of understanding. It's better to support those who truly study and share the Buddha's teachings. So I think as understanding develops, we can assess our resolutions, our determinations. And as Jonathan said, what is the resolution? Is it just thinking to oneself, like one may make New Year's resolutions? Actually, it's not such a big deal. I think we make many determinations, many resolutions, and some stay because we feel they're very important, like supporting one's parents or a teacher that truly shares the Dharma, or sometimes we reassess. We don't maintain the relationship with some friends who are not good companions, or we may not support those who we find don't lead good Vinaya. So, like Jonathan, I don't see it as a big deal.
Thank you, Achan and John Sarah. They're all very helpful comments. That's true that many people make a big deal of the resolution, partly because they see it as a promise that if one doesn't keep promise, it's something like so nice about oneself. And another aspect, they see it as something mysterious, because the Buddha made resolution, and it's such a thing that became something kind of sacred. And that's how many people feel that after making the resolution, changing it is it might be not proper.
Is it a promise made to the other, spoken out, or just one's own intention? If it's just one's own intention, then it's not actually a promise to another. And if one has made the promise to support the other, then one can truthfully say it's become difficult because now one understands that what the bhikkhu's life is, and one feels one can only support those who follow the rules, who don't accept money, and so on. And I think there can be a lot of attachment to one makes one's own inner resolutions, saying, oh, like the Buddha, I have a resolution that I will read a sutta every day, or I will attend every Zoom discussion, or I will support this monk or do this or that. What about all the clinging at those times and the disappointment when it doesn't work out as one would like it to be? So I think it's not like the Buddha's determinations, because it's mainly motivated by clinging a lot of the time.
Right. What was the purpose behind making the resolution in the first place? Not necessary, just support. But as Sarah has said, if the resolution is made, then it probably made out of a sense of it being some kusala moment, which frankly it wouldn't necessarily be.
And what about the akusala resolution? Shall we keep on the akusala resolution? I'll not study Abhidhamma. See, or I will not study Dhamma. Akusala resolution should be eradicated or should be followed.
Do you mean the resolution made out of loba?
Any kind of resolution, we have to understand the point.
Ajahn gave examples of resolving not to study the Abhidhamma, for example.
It's about resolving to meditate for 2 hours every day. Should one keep up that resolution when one knows it's not the right way?
Respect akusala or what?
Mhm.
Wrong understanding. Resolution to follow wrong understanding or understand what's right and what's wrong, what's beneficial and what is not, what is true and what is not true. When it's done with ignorance, should it be on and on, or just when there is understanding? It just know the wrong should be eradicated. Akusala should be eradicated. Stop now or wait.
And I think the lesson from this is that resolving to do a particular thing is likely to bring conflict or difficulty later on. It's not really necessary in the first place to resolve to do a specific thing. And better just to have the determination to keep studying the Dhamma as best one can.
And the truth, right understanding is so brave. It doesn't mind or care about the word that one has spoken because of ignorance.
What about a resolution not to get angry during the day? It indicates no understanding of dharmas arising by conditions. Who can stop anger if there are conditions for it? Who can stop attachment from arising? So better to just develop understanding rather than trying to imitate one's misunderstanding of the Buddha's resolution, which it's impossible for us to understand or really appreciate unless very strong understanding has been accumulated.
And what is the resolution for anyone who study Dhamma or the Buddha to be?
I think that's a big difference between the Buddha to be and the ordinary people like us. Very little understanding. Because the Buddha to be was the Bodhisattva, so he already had a great determination to become the Buddha in the future. For us, I think determining to continue studying, like John said, I think it's something more natural, and it makes sense.
What about the resolution to do the right thing? When it's seen what is right and what is wrong, the resolution to do just only right thing.
But as long as akusala are not eradicated, there will be wrongdoings.
Yes. So if you must resolve, just resolve as far as possible to do the right thing as far as possible. And then
The right decision, conditioned by right understanding.
And I think behind the making resolution is also coming from a very big misunderstanding of the Adhitthana Parami. Many in Vietnamese, and I understand it in Chinese too, it's translated somehow as resolution Parami. That.
Yes, I agree. Even in English too, misunderstanding, and it's all the idea of I making a resolution, but no understanding, so no confidence at all in the truth. So one just thinks the Buddha made this resolution, so I should make these resolutions. Behind it all is the idea of atta, not the understanding of dhammas. So no confidence in the truths as taught by the Buddha at all.
Không biết là cả nhà mình có ai muốn hỏi thêm câu hỏi nào về chủ đề này, hoặc là có muốn đưa ra một chủ đề nào khác không ạ? Thầy cô Như Hòa và cô Trúc Thanh đang ở trên màn hình, không biết là các cô có câu hỏi nào hay là chủ đề nào không?
Dạ, như cái chỗ hiểu của con thì con vẫn biết là như hiện tại thì con vẫn biết phải có trí tuệ dẫn dắt thì mới có con đường giải thoát. Thế nhưng mà như là cái xu hướng hiện tại ở Việt Nam thì có một vị cũng đi khất thực cái kiểu hình thức như Đức Phật rồi. Đời sống thì họ có những cái xả ly. Thì với con thì con chỉ nghĩ là con đường thì không có, bởi vì không có chánh kiến hay hiểu biết đúng dẫn dắt. Thế nhưng mà những cái xu hướng mà tích lũy về những cái thiện pháp ở những khoảng khắc mà có sự xả ly thật sự, ít nghĩ đến bản thân, rồi cũng có những cái nỗ lực kham nhẫn mà không hướng đến bản thân nhiều, thì con nghĩ vẫn là một cái tốt đẹp ở mức độ thiện pháp. Dĩ nhiên con đường thì không có, nhưng mọi người thì nói không đúng, thì con muốn Achan và các vị thầy bình luận thêm cái việc này để cho con rõ ạ.
Yes, sister has a question. She said that as far as she understands, the path of the Buddha has to be with understanding. But these days in Vietnam, there's someone who leads a very simple life, and that person seems to be not interested in material things, and it's very detached from material things. Although what he doesn't say anything that can show understanding, but she feels that when he can lead such a simple life, and at the moments when there is the detachment from material things, it must be a kusala. So although it's not the path, but it's still kusala. But many other friends say that, it's not the right, the person like that, living like that, or the path is going is not right. So she'd like to hear your comments. Thank you.
Who can judge or tell from the outer appearance? Like last week, one of Hong talked about how she may eat the same food every day and others think it's not good food. And it seems very simple. And you mentioned, someone said it's an indication of understanding. And we discussed how attachment is there, whether you eat the same food every day or something different every day, whether you wear the same clothing every day or wear different bright colors every day. We cannot say by this appearance, this lifestyle, someone has less clinging or attachment, because someone may live a simple life but actually wish for another life. We have no idea. So the Buddha said, don't be the judge of others. It's only through discussion, questioning, that one can learn what the understanding is of another, whether there's really any understanding of the path of the Dhammas, not by judging the outer appearance. In the Buddha's time, monks became enlightened, kings became enlightened, slaves became enlightened. The path is the same for anyone, no matter the outer appearance. But without understanding, however simple the lifestyle, it doesn't lead to the development of the path.
And I think we can be clear on one thing, that detachment from material things is not the same as the understanding of the Dhamma. So there can be one without the other. There can be detachment that is kusala, even to the level of jhana, but no real understanding of the true nature of realities. And there can be the understanding of reality, the true nature of realities, but still have attachment to material things. So one needs to have a clear appreciation that these are quite different realities that are being discussed. And one should not be confused with the other, or we should not see them as each having to go hand in hand. And I agree with Sarah anyway that there's no way of knowing to what extent the apparent detachment from material things is in fact true detachment, or is a forced way of living out of the belief that to act in a certain way will bring less attachment. And people do have this idea that to act in a way that does not look like attachment to material things will bring less attachment. But we know that is not the truth. That is not the way it works at all. Detachment can only come from the development of kusala. There are people who think that by becoming a monk, for example, and having to follow so many rules, that there will be less attachment in their life. But this is not the case. Thank you.
I think we discussed last week or the week before when someone asked what the condition is for developing more kusala, and Ajahn said the condition for developing kusala is understanding. Without understanding of the truth now, no matter what one wears, no matter where one lives, no matter whether one associates with family and friends or not, kusala cannot develop without right understanding of the truth, because such a parami means being very truthful to what life is at this moment, being truthful to whether right now one's thought, one's intention, one's resolution is kusala or akusala at this moment. So the truthfulness is so important, not the outer appearance.
Can you have more to add on this page?
I'm sure Ajahn will want to add something further, but we can't hear her at the moment.
What about Sawakato Bhagavata Dhammo? See, do we forget? Or does anyone forget? What did he say? Even how much we try to be good without understanding, they cannot be as good as Buddha taught, to understand what is good and what is not good. Understand everything as it is, to let go the idea of self. Because no matter what idea we have right now, my idea, see, that's why what Savakato Bhagavatammo about all questions. When there's no understanding of the truth, it is conditioned to think by this way or that way, different ones. But it's still my idea or his idea or her idea. What about the reality which is conditioned to be thinking, speaking, liking, all of them, all the time as I, on and on, no matter what the question is about, the situation is this or that. What about the understanding of the truth of moment to moment, as it is, not as anyone or anything at all, or any idea at all? So any moment we talk about other things is far away from the truth that what is there arises and falls away. No matter what the word is about, it's all by conditions. The moving of the hand or the eye or the leg or whatever, each moment is conditioned. What is right is kusala, what is wrong is not kusala. See, even the resolution right now is conditioned by avijja, ignorance, and lopa or what, and what should be eradicated. Otherwise, there must be wrong resolution on and on and on and on. And that is not satya. Any word which is not true is a lie. Musawada, not satya.
And just in case you didn't catch it, the Svakato Bhagavata Dhamma means, as I recall, well explained by the Buddha is the Dhamma. So the the Dhamma has been completely explained by the Buddha, and there's no need to go beyond his explanation or to attempt to explain things differently. But it's
So,
all there in his teaching to be understood.
so what did Buddha say about resolution? To understand the truth, Satya Parami, not raw Satya, not akusala, not raw resolution or akusala resolution. It has to be eradicated. Never have such raw resolution anymore. And only Panya can make such decision. Panya is not afraid of anything at all. So brave to understand what is true and what is not true, what is kusala and what is akusala. When is akusala, shall we have more? Or see the danger of akusala, that it can condition such wrong resolution. It cannot be parami when it's wrong. It cannot be parami when it's wrong.
Hòa không biết là sau phần chia sẻ của Chan và
Dạ, khi con nghe lời giảng của các vị thầy thì con mới thấy rõ ràng rằng thói quen thì mình chỉ hướng đến cái hình thức bên ngoài mà quên đi những cái bản chất thật sự phải là những cái phẩm chất tâm sinh khởi. Nên là như A Chan nhắc ấy, chỉ có cái hiểu nó được vun bồi thì mọi cái gì trong cuộc sống nó mới sáng tỏ được, chứ còn nếu không thì lại rơi vào những cái đánh giá phán xét, những cái rất là mơ hồ và không không đưa đến một cái hiểu đúng đắn nào cả.
Yes, thanks to your explanations, I realized that we are very easily lured by the appearances. We take the appearances to be what is really there. And as Ajahn said, only understanding and know, and the most important thing is to cultivate the understanding.
So now, what's your resolution? Satya Parami, Adidana Parami, to understand Dhamma because it's the only reality which can eradicate all kinds of akusala. The root of akusala is ignorance, not understanding the truth of what is there as it is. Everything in life has its own reality to be known, whether it's kusala or akusala.
Chan, can we say that at the moment of understanding, the resolution is there?
See, understanding what should be known in life, what is the most precious reality in life. Understand what is there. Otherwise, ignorance is there, attachment is there, wrong understanding is there, followed by all kinds of akusala, wrong belief, wrong way, all wrong when it's not right understanding of the truth. So it's parami. When there is right understanding of the truth, the best of all kinds of wholesomeness is good panya, and the worst is avijja. As long as avijja is still there, of that which appears, there cannot be the end of the world, the end of akusala, the end of wrong view, the end of taking what is there as I. So subtle. When it does not appear, anusia, and when it is there, no one knows, asya, aswa, until it's so strong that it can be known. Because now there are moments of akusala, attachment to what is there. Even moving one's hand or just do something, anything, unintentionally. But it's there by conditions, all there. Ignorance and attachment, the core of all kinds of wholesome and unwholesome reality. Is it there now? See? It's there unknown. There is seeing right now. Is there no attachment at all? Or is there unknown? Bhavasva. That is Sawakato Padabhata Dhammo.
The resolution is actually the confidence in the truth, not the making of something, but actually the degree of confidence.
Resolution to understand the truth of what is there right now. The seeing, that which is seen, to wear away the idea of I and something there all the time in life, from life to life. So each word of truth about what is there is the condition for more and more letting go akusala, ignorance and wrong understanding. Otherwise, it's more and more each moment.
Anh Giao giơ tay phát biểu đúng không ạ? Mời anh ạ.
Maybe I use Vietnamese first. Con trước mắt con xin cảm ơn A Cha về những cái lời giảng rất là ích lợi và sâu sắc cho mọi người. Trong đó có con. Con xin có một câu hỏi. Hôm qua á, thì vô tình thôi, mà con có tham dự một buổi pháp thoại. Trong đó vô tình con nghe được cái câu giảng là Phật Pháp vô ngôn. Phật Pháp vô ngôn. Và con chợt nhớ A Cha. Con nhớ A Cha anh vẫn thường nhắc chúng ta rằng là tại khoảnh khắc của nhãn thấy mà khi chúng ta nghiên cứu, chúng ta xem xét về tính chất của nhãn thức khi nó sanh khởi thì chúng ta có phải dùng ngôn từ không? Chúng ta có phải nói chữ chitta không? Ở đây có phải nhắc chữ chitta không? Và tự nhiên con nhớ cha. Và chỗ này thì nó làm con bối rối bởi vì nó cũng khó. Và lúc đó thì con bối rối, nhưng mà sau này thì con mạnh dạn đưa ra một cái ý riêng của mình. Tức là theo con á thì đúng khoảnh khắc cái thấy kinh nghiệm đối tượng của nó thì không có dùng ngôn từ gì cả mà diễn đạt được, không cần phải dùng chữ chitta. Nhưng ở cái mức độ mà chúng ta đang dùng ngôn từ đây để giải thích nó thì chúng ta đang dùng nó ở mức parijati, tức là ở mức pháp học. Thì cái chỗ này con thấy nó rất là nhiều khía cạnh để mà mình tìm hiểu. Cho nên là hôm nay con xin bà, xin cô, xin bác John và cả nhà là có thể đào sâu thêm nhiều khía cạnh ở cái câu nói của Achan, tức là tại khoảnh khắc mà nhận thức kinh nghiệm đối tượng thì có cần phải đặt tên không, có cần phải gọi chữ Chita không? Đó là câu hỏi của con. Anh có thể dùng tiếng Anh không hay là cô Tâm?
Dạ anh tự nói tiếng Anh đi ạ.
Vâng vâng. Achan, I have a question. Yesterday, I attended a Dhamma talk where I heard a phrase, the Dhamma beyond word. It reminds me of Achan. Achan sometimes said that at the moment of seeing, is it necessary to use the word chitta? There are no words in that moment. Yes, now we still use words, and sometimes I think it's make me a little bit confused. So now I try to leave my opinion. From my understanding at the level of parijati, the true nature of reality must be explained using words. However, at the level of parijati, bhatti or higher Bhattiveda, no need words. I think it's a very difficult, very deep, and many aspects to think about this. So Achan, I would like Achan, Kunsara, Kunchon, and everyone here to explore this teaching more deeply. I mean, Achan was here at the moment of seeing consciousness arise. There no need to name or to use words label to or label this. Thank you.
If
I
we
missed
don't,
some.
yes, please, Kunsa, please.
I missed a little bit of what you said at the beginning, but in brief, like now, seeing arises when there is understanding of seeing. No words, it's just the Dhamma that appears. So that doesn't mean that we don't discuss and use words. So it doesn't matter whether it's Pariyatti understanding, Patipatti understanding, Pativeda understanding. In the moment of understanding, it's just the Dhamma. We're talking about just the Dhamma which appears. So there's no conflict, no confusion. But if we have no idea what seeing is, if we've never heard the Buddha's words, then there won't be any understanding of it. So the Buddha used a lot of words to explain about the truth for those who could appreciate hearing about different dhammas. But the point that Ajahn was stressing, the point we stress is at a moment of understanding, seeing is not a word, it's a reality. Sound is not a word, it's a reality. So at the moment of understanding of sound, no word is involved. But still, we have to use words to discuss and explain what the Buddha said. Please continue, Ajahn.
That's true. Otherwise, how can there be the understanding of anything at all without word? For example, when we say seeing, everyone knows what does it mean. Each word represents a reality. Otherwise, how can there be the understanding what it's meant at that moment, what reality is that we're talking about? That's why we don't mind what word is used for seeing in Thai, in Vietnamese, in English, or in Pali. It means the same reality, the same moment of seeing, that we are talking just about the truth of what is there appearing. So it's real, it's a reality because it has its characteristic different from that which is seen. To learn to understand that reality by way of listening to the meaning of each word that it represents, one reality at a time. For example, Chitta and Cetasika, see, without word, who knows what is what? That's why we don't mind or care what word is used for any reality in different language, but the reality which is that can be realized, can be understood about its truth. That's all. That's why we have to use the word. That's why Buddha taught. Otherwise, no one can understand the reality by not have any word about it to be studied, to attend to the characteristic which is there, different ones at different moment, never to arise again, and so on. It's the truth again and again, such a parami. No one knows the truth of what is there at all without the development of right understanding until the moment of enlightened the truth of what is there. For us, no one can understand it without the words from the enlightened one. That's why any moment of understanding a truth, the moment of respect, the one who taught about the truth, the enlightened one, beyond anyone, the highest, great, highest wisdom. No one can compare, no matter in the world, Deva or Brahma or human being, in the universes. Only one. So
And can I,
just,
sorry,
yes,
go on,
please.
please, Ajahn. I'll just add a quick word to Mr. Dahl's question about words at the different levels of understanding. The fact is that I think there is thinking going on all the time, thinking in words or images. It doesn't matter. So whatever level of understanding there is, there'll be thinking in words before and after those moments. And so I don't think it's possible to say or to have any rule about whether there are words or not in one's mind at the moment of understanding, whatever level, because that's just the nature of the mind, to be thinking about what has been seen and heard or what is being considered. And the thoughts will be in either words or mental images of some kind. So at each moment of understanding, there is understanding arising, and the thinking happens before and after. I don't know if that answers your question, or is that relevant to your question? I didn't actually catch your initial, what it was you heard said that prompted this line of questioning. I didn't catch that at the beginning, but I hope that's helpful.
Yes, I think the understanding now in me, not enough to make sure that I'm right now. That's why I'm really appreciate when Ajahn, you and Pusara help me to understand, to correct the wrong way. And a long time when I follow to hear from Ajahn explain about the reality at this moment, now I'm really feel more confident, more belief, and now I can consider and I can say something about my thinking. So one more time, I would like to say really appreciate Ajahn Suti, Kun John, and Kun Sir.
And the more understanding, the more confidence, the less the dilemmas or confusion about words and no words, about realities and concepts, about what is said in this part of the Tipitaka or that part of the Tipitaka, because there's that confidence of whatever is said, whatever is read, is about Dhammas now, the truth now to be understood. And the truth is not a word. It's the understanding of Dhamma.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And when I say now I stop and I just stop and I see not mine, just the understanding in mind. So I think it's not nature. Maybe Khun Sara can say something more about this point.
Could you repeat it, please?
When I prepare to say I want to do something, for example, I understand. So I think not me, not I, just the understanding, understand. So I think it's not nature. So maybe you pointing out this. We can hear from you, Khun Sara.
And this, because truthfully, most of the time there is the idea of I see, I hear, I'm doing this or that. So when we just say, oh, but there's understanding, no one there, just seeing, just hearing, and so on, as you say, is it really natural or is it just a forced idea that we repeat? So the truthfulness is very important. Truthfulness to what is there at this moment. Is there really understanding now, of seeing now, or are we just repeating the word that no one sees? It's just seeing a Dhamma which sees. So understanding develops on and on, less and less confusion, more and more confidence in understanding what is true now.
And
Thank you.
I,
Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
I add something to the context that Mr. Zhao, had this thought. He said that he was listening to a Dhamma talk, and in that Dhamma talk, the person said that the Buddha's teaching is beyond words, but and that's why he thought about what Ajahn said about there's no need to at the moment of understanding there's no word. But the way when I hear those that terms in Vietnamese, I think they are said in a very different meaning. It means there's no way to describe what the Buddha thought. So any kind of talking or speaking about it, it's useless, something like that.
Yes, I agree. Actually, what they're saying is a bit like, oh, one should just go to the temple and meditate, and it's useless to study the Abhidhamma and discuss about realities. I once had a discussion with the well-known Ajahn Chah on just this topic when he said, oh, actually, it's a waste of time discussing the Abhidhamma, and I know all the followers of Ajahn Suchin, and this was back in the 1970s, and he said, oh, they just want to study the texts but they don't practice. So this is what they mean. It's beyond words.
Yeah.
Yes, but this is actually not appreciating or respecting why the Buddha taught in words for more than 45 years in great detail to explain about the realities, which is impossible to understand if one hasn't heard and considered those words in detail. So there's a big difference between saying now at moments of understanding, there's no word. Seeing is not a word. Sound is not a word. But that is quite different from saying the teaching is beyond words. Yes. So it depends on the understanding.
Can I use Vietnamese first? Sarah.
Go ahead.
Thực ra thì cái ý của cô Tâm Bạch thì anh cũng biết, nhưng mà cái ý mà anh nêu ra hôm nay thì không phải cái ý đó. Mà ở đây là khi mà ở những mức độ mà các vị mà tăng của Miến Điện á, tại vì vô tình anh gặp thôi, thì các vị có truyền tải một cái ý mà cái trường phái mà thiền thâm sâu á, thì khi đạt đến những mức độ thâm sâu rồi á, thì ở lúc đó thì các cái pháp nó không còn ngôn ngữ nữa. Thì ý anh là như vậy. Thì anh vẫn biết cái ý là những cái vị mà dùng cái nói là Phật pháp vô ngôn để mình nói người ta đi hành thiền có. Thì cả hai anh đều biết. Yes, I totally agree with Hun Tambay about the situation like Hun Tambay said that. But in the context, I heard from the Dhamma talk a little bit different, because when they said about when the high understanding, like I said, pati, maybe no use the word. That's why I remember Acharya Suchin teaching. Maybe Kunsara, maybe Pati.
Even when it's direct understanding, pati understanding, even when the monks were enlightened, did they still continue to listen to the Buddha and discuss with students in words, or did they say, oh, now there has been some development of Satipatthana, no need to use words anymore? No, they continued to listen to the Buddha on and on. Even the Arahats continued to listen to the Buddha, and the Buddha continued to teach those who had developed Satipatthana in words, in detail. He continued to teach Ananda. He continued to teach all his disciples. So
Yeah.
it's not a matter of, oh, now there's been some understanding, no need for any more words. No, the development of understanding has to continue on. There has to be the consideration, the discussion, the listening for until the task has been completed.
So maybe Sam will do this. They discuss about the moment when they direct experience the object. So maybe they try to explain, but I like the way Achan and Kunsara and Kunchon help us to understand the moment when the seeing experience this object. So I think there are many ways to say about this. But when we said about, we use this word for no need to do anything, no need to learn, just practice meditation. It's different. That I want to say, Wilson.
And can we say, to make it clear, that the understanding of Dhamma is beyond words?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Wilson. Very clear.
So we know the world is just now a moment of seeing, just visible object appears, no words. It doesn't matter what we call the visible object, just what is seen at this moment, and this is the world. But without having discussed and considered in many different ways, it wouldn't make any sense to say the world is right now. So there has to be a lot of listening and considering to even begin to consider the point about the world at this moment, the world falling away right now.
Yes, I totally agree with you. We have to listen, hear, consider, read, and many things like we do this like this. And I truly gratitude to our child when she helped us to understand the reality at this moment. One more time, and thank you, Achan.
And beyond words really means, sometimes we may get caught up in the words or the meanings or the terms or the Pali or what is said. And the point is, the realities are not the words. So understanding what is true, understanding the reality now is what is important, no matter what language, what words, what Pali terms we use. So all pointing to the understanding now.
Thank you. And no one do this.
That is important point. Yes. And it doesn't matter what the others say, or when they say no words, never mind about the understanding.
Thank you. And I think we spend time for other people. Thank you.
Just make sure I understood correctly. Zhao, you said that you heard that in the context, some monks talked about the result of meditative practices, right? And the meditation practice has reached a high degree.
No, totally no. And I think Kun Jonathan help us to understand this. Understand, no need word, better. Kun Jonathan already said that. Thank you.
I just have the sutta in front of me, which I referred to earlier about the importance of discussion. And I won't read it in detail, but in brief, it talks about how living together with someone for a long time, only then is that person's virtue known. And it's only by dealing with someone for a long time that their honesty can be known. And it's only when there are dangers, adversities, difficulties, that a person's courage or fortitude is known, again, only after a long time. And it's only by discussion with someone that their wisdom can be known after a long time, not after a short time, and only by one who is wise and attentive. So the point was just that we cannot tell at all by the outer appearance or by how few material possessions someone has or anything else.
Maybe we spend time for other people.
I'm wondering if Sister Tan has any more comments on any of these points.
Những gì ông bà Sada giảng thì rất là hay. Con có một cái điều muốn hỏi thêm là khi nói về vấn đề về nguyện á, thì nguyện với lời dạy đúng, thì con suy nghĩ là như có cái hiểu đúng đó, thì có cái khoảnh khắc sẽ làm duyên cho những hành động và lời nói đúng đắn. Thì cái cách mà cái hiểu đúng đó nó làm duyên như thế nào ạ?
Thế là cô đang nói về nguyện hay là đang nói về hiểu thì làm duyên cho hành động đúng ạ?
Cái nguyện, tại vì bà nói là cái nguyện nó làm duyên là phải nguyện đúng, thì khi nó cũng làm duyên cho cái hiểu, đúng không ạ? Thì San mới nghĩ đến cái là như có cái hiểu đúng thì nó sẽ làm duyên cho những cái hành động và lời nói đó. Thì để hiểu cái điều đó thì như thế nào đó ạ?
Đúng làm duyên cho hiểu đúng ạ? Con không nghĩ.
Như khi có cái hiểu đúng thì nó sẽ làm duyên cho xả ly đó chị. Hoặc là có những khi có cái hiểu đúng thì sẽ làm duyên cho những cái hành động và lời nói đúng đắn á.
Vâng, thì bỏ cái phần nguyện đi ha.
Dạ.
So sister said that earlier Achan said that understanding conditions right kusala speech and deeds. So how she would like to know how the right understanding condition good kusala deeds and speech.
I think Achan should respond. Yes.
Right understanding, understand the truth. Is that right? Only then. So it knows what's right and what's wrong. What is kusala and what is akusala. That is understanding. One aspect. There are so many levels and categories of wisdom or right understanding about everything, little by little. Without right understanding, who knows what is wrong and what is right, what is wholesome or what is not wholesome at all. So right understanding cannot be wrong. It understands the truth as it is, clearly and clearly and clearly, when it's more developed to understand the reality which is there, not just from the beginning only, but from the beginning to the end, from not experience it directly into it shows up as it is, as we have heard. So right understanding is always right. It cannot be wrong, while wrong understanding cannot be right at all. And right understanding is a reality. When it arises, it understands what is there as it's conditioned intellectually or with awareness or with direct appearance as it is. That's why we learn more about what is said long time ago or just right today. For example, what is word? Is there word or there no word? So is there word? A little more considering.
Sound?
See, is sound word?
No.
See, so what's word? What is the word? There is word for sure, but what is it? In order to realize the truth, only the truth can be directly known until Pativeda. Understand what is there. There is word, but without sound can there be word? But sound is not word, is that right?
Yes. Can.
So what are there at moment of hearing the word to be known directly from intellectual understanding to Patipatti and to Pativeda?
Thinking about nimitta, many
That's why
sounds.
it has to be one reality only to be directly experienced as is there, that quality, that reality, that's nature. For example, it's not seeing, it's not hearing. So what is it? What
That
is real, what is true at that moment?
thinking at that moment.
And thinking can be not inward or inward, right? At moment
Right.
of seeing the picture of bird, it's not the word to know that it's a bird or two birds or three birds there. Without understanding the truth, can that be realized? And what is realized at that moment, even hearing now? That's why each reality has to be known to understand the ultimate truth that can be realized no matter any time, anywhere, any word. Is there any doubt about it? Or is it clear now?
Có chút thanh ạ.
Dạ con chưa được rõ ràng ạ.
Chưa được rõ ràng đúng không ạ? It's not clear yet, Ajahn, she said.
Because without thinking, can there be any word, or it's just sound, different sound? Can seeing see word, or can hearing hear word? So
Cô thử
can
trả lời
hear.
câu hỏi của A Trang không ạ?
Dạ phải.
Nó, cái thấy thì có thể thấy từ không, hay là cái nghe có thể nghe từ không ạ?
Tôi nghĩ dạ đó chỉ là cái suy nghĩ ạ.
Hearing cannot hear sound, cannot hear word, and seeing cannot see word. Only thinking can think about words. That's her
So right
answer.
now, many processes, right? So complex. They all there seem to be in a moment seeing and hearing and thinking about the sound, like the word is there to be understood when there is hearing, but in truth, many processes. That's why each one should be directly experienced or known as it is. It seems very simple, ordinary life. There is seeing, hearing, and thinking, and words and sound and so on. But what is the firm understanding of the truth? It's only in a moment as it is. That's why it's the word of concept or the word of atta until it's the word of anatta, little by little until all are anatta. So what is questioned is just to be food for consideration about what is there as it is. Not just the word, but the truth of it. Even there's no word, but when there is the understanding from word, there can be moment of understanding what is there, what level of understanding too. That's why understanding develops little by little, little by little, no matter through the intellectual understanding or the direct understanding. And what about the third one? More difficult, more subtle. That's right, it has to be so firm confidence of the truth of what is there as not anyone or anything at all. It's gone completely, never to return, no matter what. Moment of hearing sound and the moment of thinking of the meaning of that sound and the nature of that which is heard by that sound in and in so quickly. So is it useful to think a little more about what is heard, to know how much understanding about the truth is there, developing gradually from hearing and considering as Satya Barami, Adidana Barami, Viriya Barami, Kanti Barami, just to understand the truth of what is there. So it's not just the word, the 10 Barami, but the nature of it as the support of understanding, little by little, to realize the truth at the end, no matter when and where and what, no choice, all by conditions. Is this a little more letting go of the idea of self at moment of understanding a little more, a little more? Is that the only way to realize what is there as it is? So very, very little is the other way or the only way. Hear it again, consider again, understanding again about that which is there. This moment, which is not clear yet, until it's clear. In the future, when it's developed with determination or resolution to understand what is there, which can be understood, but not by anyone, but through understanding, only by understanding a little more. No matter what we are talking about, just a little more understanding. So now it's the way, only way, developing of understanding what is there which has been heard again and again and again, to have a little more understanding, little by little. The time is up again. สวัสดีค่ะ